Page 135, March Slav. I'm going to cover page 134 in this lesson too. I don't have a lot to say about ledger lines. They're pretty straightforward. But that's what those lines are called. You see, 5 lines to a staff. We're limited on how many notes we can have. So the treble clef, the lines are from E to F here. If you take the spaces around them, then you get these notes. And that's as far as we can go. To go farther, or for whichever, we got to add these little lines. The middle C is on a ledger line. You've had ledger lines forever. Middle C is on. And we can have however many ledger lines it needs. But there's no limit really to, I mean, you run out of keys before you run out of lines. They work the same as the lines in the staff, and it's every other note. So let's take treble clef. Below the staff, 1 line is the C, 2 lines would be an A, 3 lines would be an F. Okay. Above the staff, well, 1 line would be an A, because the top line is an F. The 1 line is an A, 2 is a C, and 3 is an E. So, bass clef, same thing going down. In my opinion, you should memorize all of the notes on these ledger lines up to 3 ledger lines above or below either staff, treble or bass, either one. You'll get them quite a bit. Just memorize them. I don't go more than 3 as far as memorizing goes because I can't glance at them when there's 4, 5, 6 ledger lines. I can't glance at them and just know how many there are. I have to stop and count them out. Then once I do that, I take a pencil and I write in the note name so I don't have to figure it out each time. But I figure if I'm going to have to figure it out anyway, what's the point in memorizing it? That's what I do. But I can glance and I can see up to 3 of them and I know how many there are. I don't have to count them. And that's why I suggest memorize those 3. Now, middle C is the interesting one because it's symmetrical in the grand staff. Middle C is in the middle of the grand staff. It's on a ledger line below treble, but it's on a ledger line above bass. It's in the middle. Well, then this C, it's got out an octave. Well, in treble, that C is on the upper middle space. And in bass, that C is on the lower middle space. They're symmetrical. They're same distance. And likewise, the next C, that's 2 ledger lines. So in treble clef, 2 ledger lines above is a C. And in bass clef, 2 ledger lines below is a C. They're symmetrical. You can kind of use these as your guideposts. If you can just learn the C, it's easy to figure out the others if you need to. That's ledger lines. Why do they use them? Because they could just put in the other clef sign and keep going or whatever. And usually it's because of the flow of the line. You can see the flow of the line more easily in reading the music and interpreting the music. It just makes sense to look at March Slav. Here at the beginning, they're already starting out here. I mean, they could have put in a bass clef there in the second measure and given you that A in bass clef. But as far as reading the music goes, it makes more sense. You can see the flow of the line, the direction of the melody and so forth. And it just makes reading the music a little easier, believe it or not, having the ledger lines there. So let's take a look at this Slav thing and see what's going on. It's a page long. Treble and bass clef, okay. No sharps or flats in the key signature. It's either in the key of C major or A minor. If we look at the end, we're here, I guess. That is an A minor chord, believe it or not. It's not all the notes are there, but it's there. So we're in the key of A minor. But the scales and arpeggios do them both, C major and A minor. And the scales, by now, you should be doing these 2 octaves. You really should. You should already know these scales that we're covering here. You may not know all of the scales, but you should cover at least the scales for the key signatures we've covered. And for the arpeggios, you do it 1 octave up and down until you've got a good feel of it. And once you have that, then you go 2 octaves. But don't go 2 octaves until the 1 octave is down pretty well. And you can feel the distance between these notes. 2 octaves is a bit of a challenge at first. But it's important because over time it gets a little less difficult. And then 4/4 time signature. Let's take it one hand at a time and see what's going on. The right hand, this is an A minor chord down here. 1 and then the D sharp, just 4 fingers on D, so we use it on that. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 2 and 3 and. These are basically the notes you're going to use to, on measure 6, you got to cross over for one note. You're not changing hand position, you're just crossing over temporarily. Now on measure 8, during the rest, you come up here and you're basically doing the same melody an octave higher. 2. You really don't need all these other finger numbers they're giving you. First, you're here, and you're just using whichever finger's on those notes. And then on measure 9, when you move, that's okay. They can tell you there, but you don't need any other finger numbers. You're fine. You can figure that out, I hope. Left hand. Well, left hand, we got this. 1, 2, 1 and 2. Oh, it's triplet. 1 and 2 and 3. 1 and 2. Or you could go 1 and 2 and if it makes it easier for you. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Now, because this pattern is going back and forth, I would prefer not to use thumb on all that. So I'm going to use second finger on that one and thumb on that one. So it's going to be a 5-2 on these. Measure 7 here. Now I do need thumb on that. That's okay. 1 and on measure 9. Now I'm going back to the 5-2. And on measure 10, it's here and then down here. Same notes, an octave lower. And you can use 5-1 on this here if you want to. And then back up 5-2 for measure 11. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You come down. That's okay. There's other fingerings, but that's fine. We'll do that. So once I have an idea what the hands are doing, I attempt to put them together. And at first I hesitate. That's fine. I don't care. So I'll just here and here. Measure 10 when you're here, down. You come up here, hold that down, and as you're playing this, now when you play that, come up. Move this up. So we plan these hand moves out because the beat has to be a steady beat. We don't want to lift up any longer than we have to move. I know the pedal will help, but I still want to do as much as I can with the hands and the fingers. It helps so much when you can do that. Don't rely on the pedal. And then at the end, the fermatas, you just hold those down. Here. For however long you think feels right, and then you lift them up. If I do it with a metronome, I'm going to hold that half note, 4 counts instead of 2, and then lift up. It's close enough. Now, once I have an idea what the hands are doing, then I go back over it a whole bunches of times, whatever's needed, and get rid of the hesitations. Then I can think about the articulation. And this is pretty connected here. Lift up. So there's a new phrase. So you can lift up for the phrasing in the right hand. Otherwise, it's pretty connected. Then the dynamics. P at the beginning is soft, piano, soft, right hand. This, very soft, very light here. When we get to measure 8, you're going to get louder. Then these, each beat gets a little louder, now you're loud. Here, this is in the background. Now be careful on measure 10. When you're doing that, I want to hear that. That's the melody. Don't drown it out. right hand. You're just heavy. A lot of weight on that. As far as the speed goes, about where I've been going actually. It's just a real slow piece. Now they've added pedal, and we need pedal on this. This is an orchestra piece. We want to connect these things. We can't connect these chords. We need pedal. And we want the overtones. However, we got to watch out because we don't want to mess up the melody. We don't want to blur it up too much. So the first thing we do with it is first we'll try the suggestions the book offers and see, does that work or not? If it works, fine, we'll go with it. But if it doesn't, then we'll have to adjust things. It's going to be overlapping. So our lag pedal, the notes and then the pedal. Change the pedal after you play the notes. And even though the pedal covers up the phrasing, lift up anyway, here. You get to measure 7, we don't pedal this, it would smear it up too much. Same thing on measure 15. We don't pedal that measure because it would smear it up too much. And if that sounds okay, that's fine. There might be a few little things where you can adjust the pedal a little bit. If I want to hear the phrasing, I gotta lift the pedal up with the right hand. The second measure, we're here. I can lift up and just don't pedal that beat. Here, it's just. So I could lift up in the right hand for the phrasing if I wanted to hear the phrasing. The problem with that is I lose the legato, the connection in the left hand. I can't connect the chords if I do that. Typical. A lot of times in pedaling, you're gaining one thing but losing something else, and you have to decide which you want. So do I pedal or do I not pedal it? And you have to figure it out. You figure it out. You have to decide what you like. We can go ahead and just use the pedaling in the book here is fine. But I'm still going to lift up and feel the phrases even though I can't hear them. Up to you. There's a retard at the end. How much you slow down? I don't know. It's interpretation. Don't copy me, please. Get into it and feel it. Remember the natural accents? 1, 2, 3, 4. Exaggerate them if you have to. Feel the natural accents on this all the way through. Let's play this together slowly and check the notes and the rhythms. I'm not going to do the pedaling because you hear the notes better without the pedaling. We're not performing it. I'm not going to do louds and softs. We're just doing notes and rhythms. So I'll give us 4 counts. 1, 2, ready, go.